Hello, my name is Beatrice Cruz Amazon, and I've been having technical difficulties lately, and finally got the chance to resubmit everything because it's been kind of crazy. Anyways, I am or was a intern with Cargill on their protein operations side of things this summer. I got to do a lot of cool things and travel a little. Um, a little bit about me is that I'm from Cleveland, Texas. I am an animal science major with a concentration in animal production, and I'm getting a minor in business. A few other things about me is that I love being active on campus and trying to be the best that I can and help people also find what they like want to do or have someone to lean on or talk to. Um, a few things that I want to do after graduation is I actually want to enroll into Cargill's associate program. So Cargill does this cool thing where once you're an intern, you get the opportunity to have kind of like a first come first serve, but like first, well, it's it's like since you've already been through the process, you get more of a chance to get picked to do this opportunity. And they call it their associate position, which is where students that have just graduated college get the opportunity to learn how to become a supervisor, a superintendent within their company. And it's a great way to learn your leadership skills. Um, so, why did I pick Cargill? So, funny thing is, I had two great people in my corner telling me to go Cargill. Um, my previous coworkers, fiance at the time, now husband, worked for Cargill at the Cook's plant in Fort Worth, right behind the stockyards. And she encouraged me to apply for protein operations. She said that I would fit in. She said that I would love it, um, which I did. I did apply. She helped me apply. The second person that kind of also encouraged me to apply was Dr. Kinman. I took her meat science class, and she was talking about Cargill and how it's a great company, and I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to be a part of a well-known company within the ag industry, since I do want to make a change in this world, at least in the ag business. And I applied for it. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't know that it was very competitive. I was in complete shock whenever I found out that um, I got an interview. So whenever I got my interview, I talked to a lot of people, and um, 2 weeks later, I got a phone call telling me that they were going to give me an offer, and I got location places, or I got to pick locations. I picked Friona, Texas. Just kidding. No, I wasn't going to go too close to home. I actually picked Fresno, California, and Friona was my second choice. Sarah, she got to pick Friona, and I would have loved going there, but I'm not gonna say that I don't regret coming here to Fresno, California, because I did learn a lot of cool things. I learned that I love the meat industry. Like, I completely love it, and I would not change it for one bit. I don't know why it's not doing. Okay, so this is actually the entrance of the Fresno plant. So the Fresno plant has it's kind of like unique because there's not many of these like this or setups like this in Cargill itself. So it has a harvest floor, a fabrication floor, a case ready and map, which is modified application, some uh, well, it's pretty much casing all your meats and grind. So it's very unique. The one thing that it is that Fresno is a cull cow operation, so you get a lot of dairy cattle. You get the ones that just want to make it to the rainbow. Um, but Cargill's really is really well known in the meat industry. As you might know if you already took your meat science class. They also have a lot of protein divisions. They have more divisions than just protein, but in their protein division, it contains a beef processing, poultry, um, value added meats, and eggs as well, production of eggs. I didn't know that. Cargill is actually the one, I'm actually wearing a Cargill shirt, um, is the one that makes McDonald's eggs. So I didn't know that. Another thing is that Cargill is, or at least the Fresno plant, um, it's in charge of grinding all the patties for McDonald's around the West Coast, which was really cool to find out. Um, Another cool thing is that Cargill is very diverse. It dabbles in a lot. Again, very great company. They always take care of their people. So they have transportation, chocolate, makeup. Um, I think those are the few that I like can list off from the top of my head, but they're really cool. Um, so learning a little bit about Cargill is that Cargill has very good values. It wants to thrive. That's their motto. But behind that motto is that safety. Safety is the most important thing in their uh, facilities. Um, and I say that because in every meeting that I went to, they say, let's have a safety moment. So everyone around the room would have a safety or say a safety moment. I know that going into this, I didn't know that safety was that big of a deal, but Cargill makes it a thing where you come here with us in one piece and you're going to go home in one piece. And it makes sense because I mean, I was working in the meat processing floor or the harvest floor, and they don't want anything to happen to you. Um, they want you to be healthy. They want you to be at the most like your pristine self. You have to be adequate to do the job. Another thing is that they're so diverse in not only the people, but the things that they do out like um, or all the facilities that they offer or all the everything when it comes to the company itself. I mean, it did start as a grind and animal nutrition company, so that's kind of pretty cool how it's changed from selling feed to the animal nutrition to processing meat to transportation, and then it just kind of like dabbles in a little of everything. Another cool thing that I saw with Cargill is that they always want their employees to grow. So there's always room for growth. What I mean by this is that if they get the opportunity to list jobs within the company, um, employees are recommended to apply for those. And I mean, if you get the job, you get the job. And they're happy that you applied and they're happy. They want you to get out of your comfort zone. They want you to take on new jobs, which is pretty cool. Something that not a lot of companies like admire, but they praise whenever people are trying to grow. Um, so what did I do all summer and how does it relate to me? So I mean, I worked on the harvest floor, so I got to actually put all of my school knowledge into work life experiences. Coming from an animal science major, I mean production, I learned a lot. I learned that there's a lot more to it. Um, I got to work on the off-fall products and see how they were processed, as well as increasing yield and changing a few things, um, correcting a few things that need to be done. I did pick up a few jobs. I did the wizard knife, which is I was removing contamination that was on the carcass and all the like extra fat that needed to be trimmed off, so that way some of the saws could cut through a little bit easier and they could just continue cutting and their blades wouldn't get dull. I got to use knife skills, or I got to like work with knives, and I'm just gonna say I am not the best with knives, and I need to get better with that. Um, Understanding how the harvest process works, how important it is. I know Cargill, I don't know, I can't speak for other plants, but Cargill does this thing where animal welfare is the most important thing that has to happen. If um, there is an animal that does not want to get out of um, the trucker cannot use a hot shot. And the employees, if it can't get up, the employees use two two hot shots. They shock it twice. If it does not get up, then then they do other process. And if it doesn't get up, then they end the animal's pain, the suffering, which was really cool to me. How they want to make sure that the animal is handled properly and it's not stressed. And they do a great job doing that. So from the moment they step into the corrals or into Cargill property, animal welfare is very important to the moment that they go into the coolers. So I got to see everything in between and how important it is to not have contamination, how important it is to remove the hide very like in a specific way, as well as to prevent E. coli. That would mean tying off certain areas, the esophagus, all the way to the bottom, the anus, in that portion. So they would close those places. That way, whenever it got to the gutting table, the carcass was not being contaminated, or the carcass itself wasn't being contaminated in the inside. So I did get to see all of that. So my takeaway on my internship is that I was again understanding all my college knowledge and putting it into a work atmosphere to understand that there is a lot more to it than what I thought there was. Um, Hold on, at least to understand it better, to put words. Yeah, same thing I was saying. Um, as well as seeing how important it is to have certain people do certain jobs. If one is missing, it messes up the whole production line because that every person's job is critical. I also got to learn that communication and leadership skills need to be pristine. You have to be a strong leader and have great communication with your workers in order to have a successful department. Not only that, but to also help other departments so they can become successful because we are one. Is what I was taking from this whole experience. Another thing that I learned is that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Um, it was an eye opener. I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm gonna apply for the associate position. I want to come back to Fresno, California, and I want to see what Cargill has to offer. I I fell in love, and I didn't know that I was gonna fall in love with the harvest floor. Um, People say that you have to be very strong. When it comes to being on the harvest floor, being a woman. And I see why. There's days that it's going to be hard, but I'm up for that challenge. Um, so to sum it all up, is in these 12 weeks, it's been a struggle. Um, but within that struggle, I've learned to come back better. And I've learned that I have a big impact um, in the company just with my small time being there because I got to see what they were like nose blind to in a sense, and direct them into a different view and seeing how my perspective would they're like, oh yeah, that's not right, that's not how it's supposed to be, so we'll change that. So they would change it or change a way things were being done, and to see how everything was, well, how do I say this? To view my perspective, but also correct the way that they were doing things. I don't know if that makes sense. But overall, I wouldn't change my experience for anything. I fell in love with this company and I fell in love with doing this. And I'm glad that I got to share it with my fellow people. Thank you. And I hope you guys have a great one. Let me see. Right. Bye.